Making scones today. So they're just sugar scones and they're one of my favorite things to make. So I hope you like them. Okay, so first things first, you're going to set your oven to 425. Okay? Oops. Like that. Okay? Next, we're gonna mix our dry ingredients. So our sugar, our flour, and our baking powder, as well as a little bit of salt. Okay, and I'm gonna do that right now with you. So the first thing I'm doing is sugar. So it's 1 cup of sugar. So right now what I have in my hand, that you'll see in a minute, that's half a cup. So I'm doing 2 of these. Okay. And then flour is 3 cups. Okay, and I have a full cup scoop in here. So that's how we'll do this one too, okay? There's 1 cup, 2 cup, oopsie, 3 cups, and done with the flour. For right now, I will be flouring the surface below. Got in there right now. Okay, and then the next thing is baking powder. Now, baking powder is 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a half a teaspoon right now. All right, and we're gonna do 3 of these. 1, 2, and 3. That's 1.5 teaspoons. All right, and I am using salted butter, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of salt in my hand and just toss it in there because it is 3/8 of a teaspoon of salt as well, okay? Okay, so the next step, we're gonna mix this up, and that's all the dry ingredients. Okay, just the dry ingredients right now. Okay, and then I'm gonna I have my cut butter, so I have some butter that I've already cut. So in this recipe, there's 1.5 cups, wait, not 1.5, I'm sorry, 3/4 of a cup of cold butter, that's my bad. It's 1.5 sticks. So I've got Kerrygold butter and some other butter I was just using up. And I will be slicing this up and putting it in here. Okay. All right, so sliced and in the bowl. And now I'm going to mix it again until it resembles coarse crumbles. Okay. So this mixture, and eventually I will be using my hands. All right, so now I have my wet ingredients. I have 3 eggs, and I'm going to do 9 tablespoons of milk. And I said 9 tablespoons of milk. I know it's a weird measurement, but we did measure it out one time, and it's half a cup and 1 tablespoon. So if you're gonna use it that way, do it like that. I'm just gonna do 9 tablespoons here in a minute. Okay, so I've got my 9 tablespoons of milk in there, and I'm gonna mix this up, and it will be added to the next thing that I add to the other, the dry mixture, okay? Okay, so now my mixture, as you can see, so I've been kind of like mixing it and chopping it up a little bit. This is just the dry mixture with the cold butter. So for the scones. And yeah, you see you're gonna have coarse crumbs. You see that? So those are pieces of butter in there that are still a little cold and solid. And that's exactly what you want. Okay? Now the next thing to do is to add the wet ingredients in there. Yeah, I was supposed to reserve a little bit of egg for the outside, but I'm not really worried about it. And I usually don't do that. So, and now I'm just gonna mix it. Nope. Get back in there. Put the dry ingredients on the bottom, remember? Wow. One of the reasons I like these paddles as well, it helps me cut the butter. And this is just a rice paddle, by the way, that you can get with a good rice cooker. Ooh, yeah, this is gonna go on a floured surface in a moment, which is the surface that I have below right now. Okay. I'm gonna start kneading it all together with my hands. That also kind of melts the butter as well that's in here, the chunks of butter, and will help this along immensely. Let's see. Get those crumbles at the bottom, okay? Okay, on a floured surface, you don't have to do it as floured as I've done it, but on a floured surface, you're gonna turn out your dough and you're gonna knead it with your hands. Okay, that means you need to get your hands in this. That means we're gonna put flour on our hands and yeah, and knead it a bit. Okay, and then the last step is to take a little bit of sugar. Usually you use coarse sugar for this, but I will be using just the normal sugar. Okay. So you can see you get the beautiful butter in there as well. I'm slipping and sliding all over the place on this, but and I'm gonna cut these and in a moment. Ooh, come on, baby. I'm just gonna make a round and then I'm gonna cut them into, wow. And then I'm gonna cut them into, now, what I am going to do is cover them in the sugar as well, okay? So you get these beautiful little pieces. In there. Ooh. Sorry, maybe that's a little better. Maybe this was a little bit of a weird angle, sorry. I've got 8 beautiful pieces here. Okay, so I have my sugar in a bowl and we're just going to roll them in this, the sugar, and then set them on my parchment paper over here, okay? And sugar. Now, normally you would do like an egg wash and then the sugar, but I just used all my egg because I didn't want to. So that's what happened. And got one more. We are all set to go in the oven. All right, and these will pretty much stay the same. Okay. And again, my oven is at 425 degrees. A bit of sugar on top. I always do that. This extra sugar I can't put back in my bin, so I'll keep it for coffee or tea or whatever. But those are going to go into the oven at 425 degrees for around 13 to 15 minutes, okay? Okay, that's my timer for the scones. And I am boiling some water because I'm going to do a cup of tea as well. Of course, I'm going to have one of these fresh scones. I'm so excited. And they are just beautiful. They are beautiful, right? And I did put some of the extra sugar in my tea that I had left over as well from the scones. So alrighty, I'll take this beautiful one right here. I'll show it to you. So these literally just came out of the oven and I'm very excited. You can eat them with anything, jam, clotted cream, cream cheese if you feel like it, but they're absolutely beautiful and delicious. Here, let's open one up. How beautiful that is. They're really hot, so I took a tiny bite. Okay, I'll put the full recipe on here for you, okay? If you make them, tell me, comment, Tell me how you liked it. Okay? Bye.